guys, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I'm doing another collection video, and because this is a series of videos on my channel where I am popping in to do an intro and an outro and plugging that intro and outro onto every single one of the collection videos that I have, I cannot tell you which one it is, but the title and the thumbnail should have told you which one it is, and I hope that you're here for it. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work as a field business leader for Ulta Beauty, so I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education, but ultimately I'm just out here talking about makeup because I like to talk about makeup, and I'm sure that you do too, or you wouldn't be here. I'm hoping at the end of the day we can be friends and you'll want to subscribe before you go, but for now, you're here because you're nosy, aren't we all? You want to see what's in my collection, as do I. So let's roll into this collection video and I will see you at the end. If you missed my last video, it was my foundations, concealers, and correctors. I will have that linked up in the cards for you. Today we're going to focus on primers, powders, and setting sprays. So let's just jump in. I forgot this guy. And I'm going to start with this one because it is, as you can see, used and abused. But it is also what is in my project pan right now. This is the Dior Backstage Face and Body in the shade 3N. Wow, that's super reflective. Can you even see that? No, because it's also scratched up. This guy is almost gone. I'm actually using this more as a bronzer in my collection. If you watch my project pans, you already know that, because this really oxidizes on me in an awful way. This is all that's left. This is all like gone. Like, I'm super excited that this is almost gone. So with that said, I will be keeping this one because it is almost gone. It's in my project pan, and I don't think that it'll be necessary to get rid of it at any point in time at the moment. I'm also going to talk about these guys. These are my two minis, and this one is just an all-around Hourglass Veil Mini translucent setting powder. It's perfection, honestly, for putting into my makeup bag for on the go, because I travel a lot for work. So it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So even when I am not traveling and it lives in my drawers, it's perfectly fine. So I will be keeping this. I get those all the time. Then I have this one, which is the Huda Beauty Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. It's a baby Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder in Cherry Blossom Cake. And this is the pink one. And this is a fascination for me because everybody was so into pink setting powders last year, and I waited forever to get this. I don't think I picked this up until December, maybe October, simply because of fascination. Listen, I love this stuff. I am super happy to have it in my collection because I just feel like it is beautiful. It sets the eyes beautifully, and I will be holding on to it. Again, it is a mini, so technically it shouldn't take up much space. It is a giant mini, so it does take up quite a bit of space, but it comes with this little puff in here, which is super fun. I don't use the puff though. I use my own like triangular puff. So this one will stay as well. I am not a powder girl, but I don't see any of these powders going, if I'm honest. So I do have this one from Bare Minerals. If one was to go, it would be this one, but this is the Translucent Powder Duo. I have the Matte and the Brilliant, or Matte and Glow. This was in a BoxyCharm many years ago, and I subscribed to BoxyCharm for this powder and then ended up not getting this powder in my first BoxyCharm box. I do think it makes my skin look more powdery than it actually needs to. So I do think that I will get rid of this one and put it into the declutter pile because it just doesn't look good on my skin. It might have looked good on my skin when I was initially trying to want it, right? But it is really, really powdery. It is really, really powdery. And for a person who doesn't like powder, I can't have it looking so powdery or I won't use it. And that's been the case. Now this one is different. This is the translucent original mineral veil pressed setting powder. And I used to have this in the loose form. And then they came out with it pressed, and I am much more of a pressed powder girl. So I did go ahead and pick it up, and it just sits so much differently on the skin, but also is kind of gives a little bit of a luminosity to your skin that is unexpected from a stark white powder. So I will be holding on to this guy. This is the Kosas Cloud Set powder, and I do have the shade Featherly. I got this because it was such a talked about product on the YouTubes, and it is beautiful and it goes on beautifully. And it's got a little bit of a tint to it, so it doesn't like give any kind of white cast or anything like that. It's a beautiful setting powder. I just don't love it under my eyes, whereas this one I would wear under my eyes. I don't think I would wear this one under my eyes, which is kind of where I put my powder the most. I will hold on to it though, because I do enjoy it all over my face as well. This one is the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Pressed Powder, and I do have it in just the shade Light. This is a really, really light setting powder. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder. I don't know that I think that it's a dupe, but I do think it's a very nice powder. It feels very finely milled. It goes on beautifully under the eyes as well. So I will hold on to this, and this I got from Amazon because I couldn't find it in any stores where I was. And this was, like I said, supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, which is one of my favorite pressed powders. And then these are the Pat McGrath Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder in the shade Medium. I did initially get this for my under eyes and then realized, wow, I'm not medium. It is so silky and just smooth and buttery and beautiful and feels like nothing. And I love this powder. So I use this one all over my face because it's way too dark for my under eyes. And I went and purchased the light version, which is the same, just white. Again, just smooth and buttery and so beautiful. And I mean, it's completely invisible, except for that it provides a little bit of glowiness to my under eyes. So I will be keeping those as well. And the rest of these are loose powders. Loose powder isn't always my favorite, but I do have the Pretty Vulgar one that my friend JC talked me into using because she absolutely loves this powder. And I think that it is beautiful, but I also think that I have powders that I like a lot more. And this one I think would be more appropriate for somebody who is maybe like oily skinned, because I feel like this one is a little bit heavy. And you know, if I'm honest, my daughter has been asking for a translucent powder for a couple of weeks now. So I might declutter this to her. I'm going to put this in the maybe section. Then we have this one, which is the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. And this one is so beautiful and finely milled. It is colorless. It does approach your skin in a really beautiful, like, way that you just don't see any powder at all. But it gives you like this really brightening effect, really pretty, almost glowy, like when you look at where that Pretty Vulgar was and where the Hydra powder is. It's just such a different luminosity to it than what you're getting from the Pretty Vulgar one. So I will be holding on to this one. This is the loose powder that if I'm going to use a loose powder, it's going to be this one for sure. This is the loose setting powder in translucent by ABH. Such a giant tub. I mean, in comparison, it is huge. So this is what it looks like, and it is a translucent, colorless, white translucent powder that performs much like the By Terry one does, only it is a little bit more thick. But you can see between that and the By Terry, but you can see it is a little bit, it sinks into the skin maybe even a little bit better than this By Terry did. Hands are so dry. I should have moisturized before I did this. I do like this powder a lot. I like the By Terry more, but I do like this powder a lot, so I will hold on to this. And then I have these two. So I have the Laura Mercier Original. So this is just the loose setting powder and translucent. And then I have the Laura Mercier Translucent Ultra Blur setting powder and translucent. And I love this one so much more than I love this one. So I might, and the color is the same, right? But I might get rid of the original. This is the original, which is beautiful. This is the Ultra Blur, which is also beautiful, but it just kind of perfects the skin, whereas over here, it doesn't look nearly as perfected. I think I might get rid of this. I am shocking myself all over the place. So I started with 14 powders. I am getting rid of these 3. Crazy sauce. And I'm going to give all of them to my daughter, I do think. That leaves me with 11. And I feel good about this. I feel good about these powders. Now, I don't wear powder all the time, but I know this one will also be leaving my collection, and this one is like my travel powder, so I don't feel any kind of way about that. Once this one is leaving my collection this year, that leaves me with 10 powders total, and I think that that's fine for a person who does not love powder. So, let's move on. Okay, this is my primer collection, and I do have several primers, like probably too many primers. I also have my mixers in here because they're stored in the same place, so it makes sense, but I'll go over those ones separately. Looks like I have 19 primers, unless I am missing one. Yeah, I think I have 19 primers. So I actually go through primer pretty significantly. I wear primer every single day, so I'm not worried about having 19 primers. I am going to talk about these ones first because these are my mixers and they're not really a primer, but they do belong in my foundation category, which is why they live with the primers. So these are my mixers for foundation. I have the Drunk Elephant Debronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. This will like glow up or deepen any of my foundations that are maybe too light, and that's why I have it in my fixer category. This is my LA Girl Pro Color Mixing Foundation Pigment Foundation Mixing Pigment in white. This helps me with any foundation that I have that's maybe too dark. It also helps in some cases with some that I feel like oxidize, because it'll take that oxidation factor down just a little bit and help it to oxidize to a more appropriate shade for me instead of going from an appropriate shade to an orange. This makes it a little bit lighter, which I'm able to work with, and then it oxidizes in a way that is not detrimental to my whole makeup experience for the day. And then this is my Pro Mixing Pigment in the shade Blue, which is what I use to counterbalance any foundations that I have that are maybe too yellow. You all have heard me say this, and you all saw my foundation collection. I have a multitude of different shades that I've been matched to, and I like to make sure that I don't have to go buy multiple shades of any one foundation. I can just use these 3 items here to correct them. That way I'm not spending, $140 just to get a combo shade that matches me. any time of year. I can just use these to make it deeper, to make it lighter, to make it less yellow, dependent on where my skin tone is at the moment. So those will not be going anywhere, and I do foresee myself continuing to repurchase those as I find the need to. Then I have all these. I really don't think anything is going. I have this one. This is the Yensa Color and Face Tone Up Primer. This is their Essential Glow Primer, and I think that it's beautiful. If I'm honest, it is what is in my project pan right now, so it's almost gone. I won't be getting rid of it because it's almost gone, but also I wouldn't get rid of it because I really truly do love it. The only thing I don't love about this foundation is that I feel like it kind of smells like pencil shavings, and I've said that since day one, but it's got like this like really beautiful moisturizing glow that it gives to the skin. It's really skin loving. It's a beautiful formula. It says it moisturizes and preps skin, blurs imperfections and pores, provides brighter skin tone, powered by 8 super black essences. I think that it really does do all the things that it's claiming. It's a really beautiful primer. So I would definitely repurchase that. This one, I'm not going to get rid of, but I also am not going to ever purchase again, ever. This is the Glowish Blur Jam. This guy, if I was going to get rid of a primer, this would be the one that it would be. But I just haven't used very much of it at all. And it is still quasi new to my collection. I did get it when it came out. But it is a silicone-free smoothing primer that has a little bit of a grippiness to it, so a little bit of a tacky base. It is fickle. It likes to pill up if you don't 100% give it the appropriate amount of time to sit on your skin in a way that it feels it's necessary to do so. So I won't be getting rid of it, like I said, but I also won't be repurchasing it ever. I have these two as well. So the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer is probably my favorite smoothing primer. It just does a really good job of, you know, creating that airbrushed effect on your skin without feeling heavy or causing more issues like pilling or you know, pimples that arise because you're using this smoothing primer. It has got a really nice silky feel. It's got a beautiful container. I think that it is and should be the smoothing primer of choice for people that like the pore filling primers. This one feels the best on your skin. It doesn't really have like that slippiness to it where you feel like your makeup's going to glide all over the place. It's such a good primer. And I think it goes really well with dry skin and maybe oily skin alike. Some of the people that I watch on YouTube and also some of my very closest friends are part of this primer's bandwagon, and they have oily or dry skin. It's like it's perfect for everybody. So I'm really happy I purchased this. This is new to me. I just tried it for the first time this year. The next one I have is this. This is the Tatcha Silk Canvas. This is, you know, something that was huge for it's a filter finish protective primer, and I love this primer. It also makes my skin look very airbrushed. I love that it doesn't take very much to use it, but at the same time, they do sell this size in a much smaller size. And if I repurchase this again, it will be the much smaller size. I do think that this will probably go bad before I can use all of it, but it is such a beautiful primer. It is super expensive, but it smells so good. Does a really good job with like creating that like this airbrushed effect. It has a very similar feel to this. I have tried the e.l.f. dupe to this. I do think that this one is better. I have heard that the liquid version of this one is better, and I haven't tried that, so I'd love to try that. It is silk infused, so it helps to blur away all of what you would deem your imperfections in your face. Like, I think I've got really great skin, and I still love this foundation for the blurring aspect. So it's not like I'm looking at it to blur away all my imperfections, but I do love that primer. One that I'm not 100% sold on is this one, and it is because it was built to be the... Have we been out of focus this whole time? Why didn't anybody say anything? It was built to be the dupe to the Super Goop, and I'm just not a fan of the Super Goop. I do like this one a slight bit more, and I don't know why necessarily. I think it might be just because it feels less like Vaseline-y. So I'll keep it and continue maybe to try it this coming year. I think it's beautiful, but it does have a little bit of a different texture to it that is just not something that I love 100%. But I do like this one more than the Super Goop. I will hold on to it for now. This one is the Dr. Brandt Luminizer Primer, and I remember I first got this in a BoxyCharm and I absolutely loved it. I still really love it to this day. I just feel like there's probably better ones that I have these days than that. It is a beautiful luminizing primer. I did just wash my hands. A little bit of luminosity come from this primer, but I know it's getting really old in my collection and I just need to use it up. This will probably be the next primer that goes into my project pan because it probably needs to go. And also it's small. There is 1 ounce of product in this one, and there is 1.69 in this one. This is another like premium brand, not a skincare brand necessarily, but another premium brand. And this one has 1.7 fluid ounces. So like when you think about your primers and how big they are typically, I guess it's normal size. It's the same size as, you know, most of these, but it feels really small compared to like something like this that's the same size. I feel like there's less product in this, but that will probably be the next one that I put into my project pan. These two all-nighters, these are some of my favorites actually. This is my favorite gripping primer because it is just perfection. It really does grip onto your makeup and hold on to your makeup and not let it go anywhere. It doesn't pill. There's no inconsistencies with it. It is a really beautiful gripping primer. And then I have also the glow version of it. It is also gripping, but it's also got kind of like a dewiness to it that really helps me with some of my more matte foundations that I don't ultimately love a matte foundation, but this helps to bring it to life a little bit. So I will hold on to those. This Marc Jacobs one, I'm really not 100% sure about. It is a blurring coconut face primer, but at the end of the day, like, am I going to choose this primer over some of my other blurring primers? Probably not. And you know, Marc Jacobs has been out of business for a long time. So yeah, I'm probably not going to choose this. This reminds me in feel of the Benefit Cosmetics Professional. And I don't love the feel of that. Now it comes out in a much better way. It's not like a string, but it just looks like Vaseline on my skin, feels like Vaseline on my skin. So I won't be using this. So I am going to declutter that. My mom, Debbie, really loves a pore filling primer, and she loves that Benefit Professional. So I'm going to give her this. Then I have all of my Smashbox primers, and I thought I had 4, but apparently I do not. Apparently I just have the 3. I have the Photo Finish Smooth and Blur, which I don't mind. This is another like pore filling primer. But this one feels, in my humble opinion, a lot better than this one. My mother, I gave my mom this the last time she asked me for a primer, and then ended up getting it as my birthday gift from Ulta as well. So it just went out of my collection, came right back into my collection. I'll have to ask her if she likes it. I'm going to hold on to it for now. It is, you know, new to me, has never been used. If it comes down to it, I'll give my mom that, but we're going to start with this one. And then I have the Illuminate and the Primerizer. Listen, the Primerizer might as well be a watery lotion because I don't think it does anything to hold on to your makeup or make it last longer. To be honest, it is literally just a hydrating product. I didn't like it when it was in the bottle as far as primers go, and I don't like it in this form either, except for that it's a great hydrator, which I love. I typically will use a moisturizer for my hydrators though. So you'll notice I don't have a whole lot of hydrating foundations in here or primers in here. But then we have the illuminating one. This is the Photo Finish Illuminate Glow Primer, and I really, really like this. This has got vitamin C. It's got the silk screen complex. It feels really good on the skin. It does a really good job of making sure that your skin is, you know, kind of got that lit from within glow. With that said, this one is completely sealed. I had just a little tiny sample version of it that I tried out. I love it. It does have vitamin C in it. My skin loves vitamin C, but if your skin does not like vitamin C, this is not the right one for you. But all three of these are really good. I'm going to hold on to them. Then I have this one from Fenty. This is the Fenty Eavesdrop Lit All Over Glow Enhancer in Pink Pearl. This is so pretty, and if I was into like a glowy, like liquid highlighter, I might use this as that, but it really does just leave the skin looking perfectly glowy, lit from within, like even, and is so, so thin. So even better than like some of the glowy primers that I have over here. I think that this does a better job. I will always repurchase this as long as she keeps making it. So good job, Riri. I have this one by Lancome. This was something that I got in a gratis box from Lancome at some point in time. This is the La Base Pro Perfecting Makeup Primer. It's got a smoothing effect to it. It is a little bit silicone-y feeling, but not horribly silicone-y feeling. I do like that it's got like this silky lotion-y effect to it, but also not slippery or Vaseline-y. It definitely is a silicone-based primer. It only for me works with some of the foundations. I have found that some of the foundations in my collection absolutely hate this primer. So I have to be very particular with how I'm using it, but I will hold on to it for now. It's not as gross to me as some of the other silicone-based primers I have. This glass primer by Rodial, I absolutely love. This one is almost gone, and it really just gives like a glowy glass skin effect to your skin. I wear this a lot alone, without any primer over the top of it. This is perfect for my no makeup days, so I will be holding on to this as well. Three other glowy things that I have is this e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter. I wear this as a primer. I love this as a primer. It goes really well under makeup. It is rather new to my collection. It is giant, so I don't know how I'm going to get through this, to be honest. I have it in the shade 3, which is light to medium. I do think that it's a little bit orange for my complexion, but it buffs out to just such a beautiful lit from like ambient lighting glow that I love it, love it. I haven't tried the Charlotte Tilbury one of these, so I've heard that it's exactly the same. So, I mean, I have this giant one from e.l.f., so why try the Charlotte Tilbury one? But you let me know. Then I have these two guys. This is the Valentino V-Lighter. I have mine in the shade Rosa. I love this so much. This is my favorite like glowy primer at the moment, and the only reason I ever picked this up is because I tried one of the Sephora like samples that you can get with points, and it's just a little tiny bottle, but I tried that because Lauren May Beauty was talking about this primer and raving about it, so I thought I'd try it. Loved it. Could not put the primer down. And I was done with it in like, I don't know, 5 uses. So then I had to go on Sephora and pick up the full size. And I have used quite a bit of it. I know that you guys can see some windowing in there. It does lean on its side, so that's not 100% truthful. But I would say it's probably easily down to here. because I used it so much. At one point, I had to force myself to put it down because I just loved it. These glowy primers, really, I am a person that loves a skin finish. These glowy primers just go underneath that skin finish on top of your skin and really give you that glowy effect without the disco ball effect. And I feel like they do wonders for making your skin look youthful and healthy. This one, also by Rodial, is the Illuminating Ultimate Glow Primer. It doesn't smell awful, but I also think it used to be pink. So I'm going to put this into a, like, maybe we're decluttering it mindset. I did get a ton of use out of it, to be honest, but then at some point I put it down to use some of these other things and then just never picked it back up. These were beautiful though, soft focus. So they did a little bit of blur to your skin, did a little bit to brighten because they did have, I swear, a little bit of a pinkiness to them. I'm going to do some digging. They don't smell bad. They smell the exact same way as they did before. Maybe I'm wrong. It's got a little bit of a weird smell to it. I'm going to do some checking on this. This might go. I'll let you know through editing whether I let this go or not. This one is the Live Tinted Hue Guard. This is a 3-in-1 mineral sunscreen moisturizer primer in one. And you know, I like this. I don't 100% love it, but I do think like that color is really scary, right? But it blends into the skin beautifully. It does a really good job of being a sunscreen. It also helps to moisturize. It doesn't look orange on my skin. So like I'll hold on to it, but I do envision that this will not live through, you know, my collection for another year. So I do need to put it on a list to just focus on and get it out of my collection this summer, as I'll be using like sunscreen more and more, right? I don't, like I said, I don't not like it, but I also don't love it. So I think I said we started with 19 primers and I'm only decluttering one. I knew that this was probably going to end up this way, but 19 primers, decluttering one. We're left with 18 primers, 4 fixers, 3 fixers, 1 declutter. Okay, the last section for today is my setting sprays, and there is a ton here and a ton in boxes. So with that said, a lot of these I got in gratis. So these 6, this one, and this one was gratis. These 3, I think I got in like an Ipsy or a BoxyCharm or something like that. These 2, I really can't tell you how they came into my collection. I don't remember purchasing any of these, if I'm honest. They just all came to me somehow into my collection. So I don't think any of them are going anywhere. Let's talk through them. So first, let's talk about this one. This is the Cream Shop Hello Kitty collaboration setting spray and priming mist. This one I likely could get rid of. I will probably never use it because the only reason why I have it in my collection is because a friend of mine purchased it for me because it's Hello Kitty and I love Hello Kitty. So I don't know that I will ever use it. I might empty out its contents into another one of my things and just save the component. Because I honestly also think that a lot of the things from the Cream Shop are just honestly not worth it. I don't even know that I will use the product inside of it, but I will keep it. These 2, one of them is full size, one of them is travel size. I really dig the travel size for my travel bag, and that is why I keep the travel size around. The full size I will also use to fill and refill the travel size, so I will keep them around. This one is my favorite setting spray because it does have that long-lasting effect that it gives to your makeup. It does melt everything into the skin really, really nicely, and it doesn't have alcohol in it, so it doesn't cause any excess dryness to my already kind of dry skin. The Urban Decay All Nighter used to be my favorite setting spray. Its first place position was taken over by the Benefit Professionals Pore Setter. With that said, I still really do love the Urban Decay All Nighter. This one is the one that I have in use, and this one I did get at FLC 1 year. You can see that it is personalized. It says Donna Fierce AF on it. This was from my first FLC, so regardless, I will be keeping this bottle. I will likely take these ones and empty them into this bottle and just continue to use them. This one is what is in my in use right now, and I will keep all three of those because this one is their vitamin C version. I haven't tried this one yet, but I have to imagine it smells really good. And it's supposed to be hydrating, whereas I don't think this one is hydrating at all. It has a lot of alcohol in it that causes, like when my skin is super dry, it causes extra dryness to my skin. The MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus spray. My favorite is the coconut. I do use this one more as a like all day refreshing spray and a foiling spray for my shimmers. I don't really use this as a setting spray for my face because I don't feel like it does much to increase longevity of your makeup, but I do think that this does wonderful things for refreshing your makeup and making it look, again, as amazing as it did at the beginning of the day. So I used to have a little like travel size version of this that I carry around and just use these guys to fill it back up. These bottles are also pretty amazing when you do get done using them because they lock so they don't accidentally spray. So they're really great for travel in that way. This one I had a lot of problems with in the past, the Hourglass Veil Primer. This one doesn't open, and I have had two before this one that just quit spraying inadvertently. So if I did get rid of any of them, which I don't think I'm going to do right now, this one would be the one that I got rid of because I just don't trust it. I just don't trust the nozzle of it. But while I did have it, it was a really nice setting spray for like that soft focus appearance, like making everything just kind of meld into one beautiful like airbrushed look on your face. I really did love this for that purpose, but it only worked. My second one worked far less time than my first one did, but I struggled through that one last year in Project Pan. I also have this Ciate Everyday Vacay. This is a dewy coconut setting mist. I haven't tried this, but I also have tried a lot from Ciate, and I really like Ciate as a brand. I can't even get this box open. Yep, I'll rip the box open. I'm interested in trying this one, and it looks like it's about the same size as like a travel size. So I think that it'll be good for in my makeup bag for then. This one is the Huda Beauty Glow Cocoa. I do think I got this one in an Ipsy bag. And it looks like this. It's kind of milky in there. So I'm interested in using it, but I haven't broke it out yet. I don't know much about it. It is supposed to be a hydrating mist. So I don't know what that means for like alcohol content of it. But I'm assuming if it's a hydrating mist, it's got less alcohol content, which also might mean that it doesn't help your makeup stay for very long. Then I have this one by Beauty Blender. This one was definitely brought to me in a FabFitFun. And this one is supposed to be a setting and refreshing spray. It's called the Redo, and that tells me that it's probably more of a refreshing spray than it is a setting spray, but I'm interested in trying it. I don't know much about Beauty Blender's makeup brand, so like I know that I love this bottle. And I know that it also has kind of a milky appearance to it. I'm not sure about the product within. And the last two are these two, and they are the Pixi Skin Treats Glow Mist. I've had this in my collection forever. You can see that the cellophane is still on it. I couldn't tell you where this came from or how long it's been in my collection, but I just know it's been in there forever. I do think that this is more of a refreshing mist than it is a setting mist. And what tells me that is like all the oily in it. That is why I haven't used this yet. I'm actually kind of terrified of this, to be honest. Truth be told, I should probably get rid of it, but I've heard it's really amazing. So that's why I keep it in my collection and keep thinking I need to use that. And then I have the Catrice Illuminating Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. And when you shake it up, it has this like kind of like swirliness about it. Can you guys see that swirl? It's so pretty. But I do have this in addition to this one. This is also on my vanity for use right now. And I don't love it. If I'm honest with you, it makes my skin look kind of greasy. And it says it prepares the skin, improves makeup wear, and refreshes complexion. I don't think it does any of that. I think it's real pretty, and I think it looks kind of glowy, but I think it looks kind of glowy because it also sits on top of your makeup versus sinks into your makeup and makes it, you know, become one. So I don't know. I just started using it. I think it's beautiful, but I'm just not sure that I love it for me. So this might be one that goes, but I'd like to get a couple more, you know, wears out of it before I make the ultimate decision. We started with 14 sprays and we're ending with 14 sprays because I'm not going to get rid of any of them. So I think that was a bust. What do you guys think? These are the only 4 products that I am decluttering out of the primers, powders, and setting sprays that we just went through. So there you go. I don't feel so successful this time. And I think it's just going to get worse from here because I think the only thing left is all of my color cosmetics, right? And I don't foresee me getting rid of a whole lot when it comes to color cosmetics. Who knows? Who knows? Let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments section. I have an idea of what I'm doing, but I would be interested to hear from you too. So we're getting rid of the Laura Mercier powder, the Pretty Vulgar, the Powder Room Matte About It Translucent Setting Powder, the Marc Jacobs Undercover Blurfection Primer, and the Bare Minerals Translucent Powder Duo. So 3 powders, 1 primer are leaving, and let's roll into outro. All right, so that is the end. How did I do? Listen, I'm doing this outro and the intro, aforementioned intro at the beginning, without even knowing what section that you got to see just now. So I realized that when I did my foundation collection videos that I had not recorded an intro or an outro, which is why I'm doing this right now. You've already seen the foundation concealers and correctors, so I know all the great things that are to come today and for the rest of this collection series. I did already film an inventory video that is just about the numbers in the spreadsheets and how I log everything. I will have that available to you in the cards, as well as my year of empties video, which talked about just all the empties that I had last year. So you also get to see what exited my inventory. How did I do? How do you think I did? What do you think about my collection so far? I would be interested to hear from you down in the comment section. With that said, if you like collection videos, I'm doing a whole bunch more of them, I do think. And unless this is the last one, in which case I just lied to you. But if you're interested, don't forget to subscribe before you go, because there's a lot more content coming. And also, like, I've been on YouTube for a while. There's plenty of videos out there. I'm sure that you can find something that you enjoy. Maybe something that you can go back to from way back when, in the Wayback Machine when I started, and you can make fun of me for, because everybody was a little cringeworthy back then. Maybe go look at my collection videos from back then. That would be a hoot. Either way, I just hope that you loved it. I hope that you want to subscribe before you go. I hope that we can be friends at the end of the day. And yeah, I'm super thankful that you were here today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you are all safe and healthy and getting along as best you can. I hope that you are all loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye friends.